Happy Halloween! I am Cloud of Mad Cloud Creations in South Jersey, and today I'm gonna be showing you how to make baked apple cider donuts. So I've got all my ingredients out here already portioned out for me, and I guess we'll get started. All right, so here in my center bowl, I have our the beginnings of our wet ingredients. So this mushy gushy blob is butter, brown sugar, vanilla extract, and a little bit of white sugar. And I have my handy dandy fork here to mash it all together. Once that is done, I add eggs over here. And then the finishing, almost finishing product is our flour mixture. So it's flour, baking powder, salt, cinnamon, and nutmeg. So that goes in, and then to top everything off, you add our delicious apple cider right at the end. So then that bakes, and after that's all baked, I melt this delicious stick of butter here and brush just a little bit on top of the donuts, and then we dunk it in our cinnamon sugar mixture, and then you can eat it. All right, so here, it really looks like I'm just mashing our butter and sugar. So I'm not your conventional baker where I use mixers and all of the appropriate baking tools. I like to do things differently. And also I just think for people who don't have those tools at their house, I wanna show them that you don't need them. So here I am just kind of creaming my, my butter and sugar and vanilla mixture. So just kind of looks very messy, but comes together nicely.
So do you make these often?
Actually, since I started making them about, let's say the first time I made them was like 3 weeks ago actually, when I got a craving for them and wanted to try doing it on my own rather than buying them. Every weekend since, I have played around with the recipe and I've made them for friends, trying to get feedback. So I would say the last month I've made them every single weekend. So I guess a lot in the recent future. I don't know what I'm saying. Not in the future, in the present, in the recent past. Yes, thank you. There we go. Not in the future. I do not know what the future holds after this video. Who knows? It does hold donuts. It does. So now I'm gonna do one egg at a time. And I wish I knew the science behind that, why you need to crack and mix one egg at a time, but I don't. But I know that it's what should be done. Don't know why, but I just do it that way. I have my other very special tool, knife, and I scrape the excess off my handy dandy fork. So there we go. Our last egg into this lovely mixture we have here. Nice taupe color. No shell in there. And a little secret, even if you do get a little shell, it'll be fine. I've done that before, not today. I don't see any, hopefully, but a little shell does not hurt anybody.
How'd you learn to make?
How did I learn to make this? Because I love baking, and so I'm always looking for new things to make. And so I'm a huge fan of the fall. It's my favorite season. And I love apple cider donuts. And I wanted to try to find a way that I could make them at home, if that was possible. So I just was online looking up different recipes and different tips. And so let me get this around so you can see how to fold in that flour. So I looked at different recipes, I played around with my own ideas, and that's kind of how I came up with this. And they're just really fun to make. Just because like I said, fall is my favorite season, so I love like apple cider and cinnamon. I love all of those scents. So it's something that's enjoyable for me. And a lot of people like fall, I'm finding. So I love to make things that I think other people will like. And so far, the people who have tried these say that they like them. I don't know how true it is, but I've gotten good feedback. So I definitely enjoy the positive reaction from people who have tried them. So do half the flour first, which I did not explain, but just because it gets kind of messy if you do it all at once, it kind of like explodes up in your face, and that's not good. It is 1 1/4 cup of flour. I did make the mistake of doubling this recipe at one time, and I had a big bowl and it was just like overflowing. It was not very messy and not good, and I'm making a mess now, but not good. So I recommend doing one batch at a time. I forgot my other handy dandy tool, which is my handy dandy spatula. Here's my handy dandy spatula. Because I don't use a typical mixer, I have one. I do have one. It was my grandmother's, which is like kind of nice that it's like a little sentimental. However, I try to use like the least amount of tools and bowls possible, just because I think I want to do like the easy way. So like not everyone has mixers and all of that. So I want to do a way that it's like you don't need that crazy like Dyson whatever KitchenAid like 2020 brand new mixer. You can just use a fork. And is it sometimes a little bit more difficult? Yeah, it's, you know, a fork doesn't do the same thing as a mixer. However, it still gets the job done. So that's my theory on that. I know a lot of real professional bakers are probably like cringing at me saying that, but it is what it is. So here.
Real professional. Do we got watching this show?
They're all watching this show. They're all watching it, judging.
Yeah, sorry, Mr. Ramsey.
He would be cringing. He's yelling through his screen right now as he watches this. He really is, and he's putting me on a watch list, like, and sending me out to every bakery across the state, saying, "Do not let this girl bake for you." All right, so here I am pouring the apple cider over my mixture, and it's really not looking great like this, but I promise you, people, it's gonna taste delicious. This is my favorite part. So, in this lovely mushy mess, be careful not to go too fast. Just like slowly massage it around, because the apple cider will like splash up at you. I've done that. Continue to slowly move this muddy mush around. I'm not using very good descriptive words. It does not sound appealing, but I promise you, if you could smell what I'm smelling, it smells delicious.
What's your favorite donut?
Favorite donut? You know, I don't know if I have a favorite flavor, but duck donuts, for anyone who has had duck donuts, absolutely delicious. I got a s'mores one from there and an Oreo one, and it's to die for. So I will rave and rave and rave about duck donuts. Love them. This is, you know, I'm subtly telling Duck Donuts to sponsor me, but also Dunkin' Donuts, they're not good. Everybody knows that. But I will always appreciate a strawberry frosted rainbow sprinkle Dunkin' Donuts donut. Will always have a special place in my heart. All right, so now I'm just moving a little faster because there's no chance of apple cider splashing up at me. So as you can see, it's not super runny, but it's not super thick, which some recipes will tell you that a cakier batter is better, and I don't agree with that. You just have to let them bake a little bit longer. Yeah, so this consistency right here, where it's like, it's a little liquidy, but not super runny, this is good. And it fills in your in the donut cavity very nicely. So yeah, now comes the fun part. Here we have our Wilton. And no, Wilton's not sponsored me, but that'd be cool. I'd get some free stuff. So Wilton donut cavity pan. So whenever I grease bakingware, I always use like a non-stick cooking spray, and I always use butter flavor, which I just think, oh, I hope this was that out. I think it just adds extra, I don't know if it's really adds anything or if it's just me. It's like a psychological thing that I have to use butter flavor. So I don't know why this is so smoky. So here. There we go. All right. So also what I do is I take a paper towel and kind of just like move everything around so it doesn't just sit and it's evenly distributed around the baking spray. So once that's all done, now comes the fun part of spooning this in here. Some recipes will say spoon 2/3 full. I don't really know what 2/3 looks like, but I'm gonna say if you want like a full donut, because they don't seem small, but if you don't fill up enough of the cavity, you get a really weak, thin donut, which is fine, but I know me, I like my donuts like nice and thick and cakey. So you wanna almost completely fill the cavity.
The first time you ever made donuts before?
No, it actually was not. So about 3 or 4 Christmases ago, I got this pan as a gift, and I didn't know that you could bake donuts, which, I mean, we have this wonderful thing called Google that you really can find anything on there. So I could have checked out, but it came with a recipe for baked donuts that I tried. So they're just almost like an old-fashioned donut. And now that I'm about to say this, Wilton is not gonna sponsor me anymore, but the recipe that they had, I personally didn't like. It really did not taste like a donut at all to me personally, my sole opinion. So I just really like played around with different recipes for baked donuts, and I've done a peanut butter and jelly donut where I didn't fill the inside, but I did like a peanut butter and a jelly glaze over top. I've done a maple bacon donut, chocolate peanut butter donut. So, you know, in episode 2, we'll further the donuts and do all different kinds of crazy donuts. So here, finally, we've got our last one. And as you can see, it's not super clean here. We got a little spillage, but that's okay because that'll just crust right off as soon as it comes out of the oven. Sometimes you'll get a little bit more than 12, but you will definitely get 12 donuts out of this, so that's nice. Oven is not preheated yet, so we're just gonna let that preheat. And novice baker me would just put it right in the oven because I don't have patience, but you should always wait till your oven is fully preheated. It's just, it won't cook right, like the outside will get burnt and then the inside won't be cooked fully. So definitely wait until your oven is preheated. It's been 2 days and they're finally ready. All right, just kidding. I started off at 17 minutes and then I kind of gauged the coloring. So whenever you bake donuts, the tops, the top of them that's not on the top is always gonna be a little bit lighter than what's on the inside of the cavity. So just because they're lighter does not mean that they are undercooked. It's just the way that it is. So we wait 5 minutes for them to cool. Then I will carefully take them out of the cavities and let them cool a little bit longer. And then we'll get to the fun part of brushing them with butter and dipping them in sugar. this thing here, this cooling rack and this pan to make wings, but it actually is perfect for doing this because any drippage that happens goes right underneath and not on your countertops. So I have my little brush here that I put in the butter, and I just kind of lightly brush some butter all over the donut. And then I take my sugar and cinnamon mixture, kind of just pop it right in there. Kind of make sure it's all covered in there. It's all lots of sugar because who doesn't love sugar? And then kind of pat it down, place it back on the rack, and repeat another 5 times.
It smells really good.
So there you go. There you have it. And that's how you get your baked. What's the verdict? Can you taste the apple cider? Texture is a good texture.
It's very good. It's like it's, well, it is similar to like the typical donut, but it also isn't. Right? Like,
You don't get that fried aftertaste.
Yeah.
There's like an aftertaste when you eat fried food.
Very good. Just say like, so here is the recipe for plain apple cider.
All right, so here is here's the secret recipe for these secret baked apple cider donuts. I hope they come out just as delicious for all of you. And I hope you have a happy Halloween and a happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for watching.
Message, what's your Instagram?
Yes, message and follow at MattCloudMatt. Mad, like angry, Mad Cloud Creations on Instagram. And we can hook you up with all your baked good needs.
And message her if you make these.
Yeah, let me know how they come out. And if you have any tips, I'm all ears. I'm all 4 ears.